And it all comes down to being properly rated. So one of the most common questions we've seen, especially after the PACT Act, is I'm 100% PNT. Should I claim anything on the PACT Act? And everyone's going to say, don't poke the bear, don't do that, don't do this. And that, in my opinion, that's the wrong answer. One, there's no cookie cutter answer for that. Two, I think hypertension is a fantastic example for the Vietnam era veterans, and then I would probably argue that Cop D would be the great example for the Gulf War era veterans, right? So I'm 100% PNT. I have the ability to get hypertension service connected, even at 0%, right? Service connected is service connected, whether that's 0 or 1,000,000,000%, doesn't matter. And so now that Vietnam era veteran that was 100% PNT does a claim, it's presumptive. The evidence is airtight. Okay, you want to make sure your evidence is airtight. Now you have hypertension service connected. Now all of a sudden, it's not for you, right? Your children, maybe your parents, depending on what that looks like, but especially your spouse now has the ability, right, to take advantage of, hey, my spouse passed away from a heart condition. They were rated at hypertension 0%, and now we have DIC. Now we have the eligibility for DE for Chapter 35 after the veteran passes away, and that is everyone talks about 100% PNT, but really the goal is properly rated. You want to make sure you're properly rated, and if it's not for you, do it for your family, and that would be the. If anyone hears anything from this video, it's that get properly rated.
Right, because it opens up all the windows, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? I agree with you 100%. You know, don't leave it on the table. There are obviously, it's like you said again, it's not cookie cutter. It's not for everybody. There's some situations where, like, look, it just it doesn't really make sense. Like, tinnitus, right? If I'm already 100% permanent and total, it really doesn't matter for that specific condition. Like, what am I going to hang on that? But your example for hypertension is huge. That's a great example, and I love that one. My thing is like, I'll get that question. Look, I'm already 100%. Why should I file for anything? What would even be a reason? And yes, to your point, exactly. That's a huge one. It helps with any of these forward-thinking things like DIC. It can help you get to permanent and total if you're not already permanent and total. If you're just 100%, this could help you get to the permanent aspect of it. I also throw out that sometimes additional conditions might take you to special monthly compensation potential, or even clothing allowance. Mm-hmm. So, you might have a condition that's going to warrant a clothing allowance for you. Maybe you're getting some sort of a cream for some sort of a condition that's now damaging your clothes, or you have some sort of a brace or prosthetic or whatever. So those types of things are reasons why. I'm going to chime back in on the DIC piece for the remarriage aspect, so people are aware. Here it says that if you remarried, you can receive or continue to receive compensation if one of these describe you. You remarried on or after December 16th, 2003, and you were 57 years of age or older at the time you remarried. So in other words, if you were younger than that, then it goes away, and then you'll have to kind of like reapply for it. The next one is you remarried on or after January 5th, 2021, and you were 55 years of age or older. So in other words, if today, January 2024, the veteran passes away, you were married, veteran passes away, and you qualify for DIC, you would lose DIC if you remarried before the age of 55. They would take it away. So people will just not get married. Let's say that let's use the example of, because look, if you're 54, the chances of you getting married before you're 55 and your husband or wife just passed away is probably pretty slim, right? But let's say that you are 30 years old and now you have to wait, 25 years Um, that's a lot to ask, I think, of someone. So, and I'm going to throw this out there. Let's say that you're single, a single veteran, right? You have no spouse. Well, maybe if you're 100% permanent in total, or you're going to pass away of a service connected condition, you can advertise that to a prospective spouse, right? Hey,
Marketing.
I,
Yeah.
I was going to make up shirts, got DIC, right? So anyway, so that's pretty much it. I love that we touched on all four. I think that some of them kind of connect to each other. I mean,
Mhm.
they all make sense. Really, the only two that are kind of a if this or that are really the pension or the DIC. DIC does not require wartime service period, where pension does. Pension is income based. DIC is not. DIC pays more, pension pays less, takes you up to the poverty level. So with that, Clay, is there anything else you want to throw out there? Last words?
Last thing I want to say, there's legislation on the floor that's been introduced. I forgot the name of it, but it's to get rid of the remarriage criteria, and it
Mm-hmm.
involves a broad stroke, right? So one of my friends from high school, she had married a service member her senior year of high school. This was the height of the Afghan war in Helmand province. Her husband
Mm-hmm.
passed away. um, she's my age, she's 30, and she has met someone else, but they're just not getting married, right? And that seems really stupid, but it's because she's going to lose those benefits. And so even if you fall in that window, or you're the spouse of a veteran that passed away, that is something I would definitely keep my eye on. And that is, I think that would be unanimously pushed. I really don't see anyone making a good argument against that. But food for thought, that criteria could change by the time you watch this.
Yep, absolutely. And if you're watching this, you can support that legislation, and you could do Google searches or whatever, and we'll try to put the link to the or add the information in the description, or drop it in the comments for you as well. But it's just important to understand that there is a financial kind of bridge that can be made, and ideally, maybe you were a stay-at-home parent, or you worked part-time, and now all of a sudden the main breadwinner is gone. So now you can go get that education you need to then go out and get the job that you need, in some cases, right? It's nothing is ever, like you've said before, Clay, cookie cutter. Everybody's
Yeah,
situation is
exactly.
different, and that is what is so nuancy. It's hard to give every single scenario that's going to fit everybody. So it's kind of like we talk a little bit about different things. So hopefully something will click for everybody. Is there anything else that you want to touch on with regard to any of these specific programs and benefits that we've talked about?
There is, and you mentioned it in the beginning.